Hey everyone, my name is Rev Trev. I'm from Kempner Sports, and I'm so excited to do an NFL playoffs wild card weekend video for you guys. Last year, these videos did so well, they blew up, they're amazing. And tonight, I've got a different backdrop because, as you know, I'm a Packers fan. But before you click off, before you think I'm biased, I'm actually very passionate and very realistic. In fact, many times have I predicted that my Packers are going to lose this year. And so I'm not a biased fan. So please stick with me. Yes, I am full disclosure. I'm a Packers fan, but I love the NFL and I'm pumped about this wild card weekend. All the things that are coming up this weekend is absolutely amazing. And if you see right here, like this is all that's going on. These are so many great moments going to happen. So we're going to dive into each one, and I'm just pumped about all the different things. But before we do that, would you take a moment to like this video, follow me on X, which is Twitter, at RevTrevK. I'd appreciate that. And then on YouTube and Facebook, I have a channel and a Facebook page called Kempner Sports, and I'd really appreciate your help. So, if full disclosure, though, as well, if we're honest, the favorites, if you would poll most people and say who's going to be in the finals, they are saying that it's going to be the Ravens versus the 49ers. That's the ones who've earned their bye weeks. They're the two teams that look the best this season. They played really good teams, beat really good teams, played each other, the whole thing, right? So that is huge. It's crucial to know that, but they're not playing this weekend, and it doesn't, just because they're first doesn't mean they're going to win the Super Bowl. We've seen that many times, that these teams that had bye weeks lost. And so let's just go. We're just focusing here on wild card weekend. Okay, so we're going to dive into the very first one, and this one is in the AFC. And this is a tough matchup, okay? This is the Browns, 11-6, and the Houston Texans, 10-7, okay? And here we are. So if we dive into this matchup, okay, and I'll bring it up on the screen here. I'm going to add this to our screen. So if you look at this, okay, if you're looking at this game and you look at, okay, so the Browns have the 16th best offense in the NFL. The Texans have the 12th best offense. But the Browns have the number one defense. And we all know that defense wins championships. Now, but let's talk about Houston for a moment. They are the 14th best defense. They are not a terrible team, but they're not the best either. And so good to know, good to think about. Now, I want to pick the Cleveland Browns, right, for many reasons. One is this. They played December 24th already, 2023, Cleveland destroyed them 36-22. But what we don't talk about is that CJ Stroud, right there, CJ Stroud did not play in this game. In fact, he missed 3 games this season, okay? And I think that's an important piece to know. It's an absolute important piece to know. They're at home. Now, can CJ Stroud, as a rookie, outperform the best defense in the league? That is going to be the question, the answer. Now, there's no Tank Dell for Houston. And I just think at the end of the day, we don't really know what's going to happen there. Like, Joe Flacco had a great game. Will Houston come? And this, I feel like this first matchup is one of the most difficult to predict. Now, I'm going to go with Houston. I have this feeling that with CJ Stroud, like if you look at their record, 10-7, you're saying, hey, the Browns won more games than they did last year or this year. Yeah, but if they had CJ Stroud, I think he missed 2 or 3 games. If I believe that CJ Stroud there, they would have had a better record than the Browns. They have the home field advantage. The only thing that I think is the key there is that the Browns have the best defense. And I do not think that Flacco is going to run all over them like they did last time. Okay, so I'm going to go, and I'm going to go quickly through these. I'm not going to go through every single step of every single team, but I want to go quickly over my predictions. And, I could be wrong, but I highly doubt it, okay? But let's just see how I do here. So I'm gonna go with what I would consider the upset because Houston's already lost to them. But that's what I'm doing. Okay, so we're gonna go on the next one. The next game of the weekend is this massive matchup, which I'm actually shocked that they didn't put this as the Sunday night or the Monday night game. Okay, so Saturday night, Dolphins at Chiefs. This is gigantuous. I love this. Oh, by the way, just going back to this Browns game, this is basically the Deshaun Watson Bowl. Like, how wild is that? Now, it's so weird that Deshaun Watson's not playing in this game. Of course, he's injured and the whole thing. It would be so much better if Watson was playing. But Houston's like, hey, we're better off without him. Look how good they've done. CJ Stroud's doing a stud. Okay. Now, the other storyline is in the AFC is the Dolphins at the Chiefs. This is the Tyreek Hill game. Tyreek Hill's coming back to Arrowhead to play the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, if we look at this really quickly, you can see that the Dolphins are the number one team in the NFL in offense. The Chiefs are ninth, which shocked me when I saw that. The Dolphins are 10th on defense, but the Kansas City Chiefs are second. And so now here's the other thing. The last time they met each other was on November 5th, 2023. And I believe that let me just see if I believe that Tua played that game. Let me just see. I'm going to go to Tua stats. Okay, for 2023. Did he play in that game? I believe he did. Yes, he did. He only had 193 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Okay, so I'm worried about this game for a couple reasons. Even though actually, if you look at that again, they have the number 1 passing game and the number 6 rushing team as the Dolphins, but the Bills just beat the Dolphins, and they're in Arrowhead, but not just because they're in Arrowhead. I'm picking the Chiefs because not only have they been there before, and they're not as good as they were last year for sure. They want to beat them with Tyreek Hill there, but there's going to be snow. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think those Dolphins players can play well in the snow. And so that is my guess in this thing. I could be wrong again, but I highly doubt it. I'm going with the experienced Kansas City Chiefs in this one at home. Now, this one to me seems quite easy. AFC Steelers versus versus the Bills, right? And if you look at this matchup, it's actually quite intriguing because a number of weeks ago, people were asking me, Trev, who could win the AFC? And I said, you know what? It could be Buffalo. And in fact, the person who asked me that started laughing. He's like, dude, they're not even going to make the playoffs. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, they're making the playoffs. Not only did they make the playoffs, they beat the Dolphins and became the second seed. Like, this team, it was a favorite before the season started, really struggled, ended up 11-6. Now, the Steelers have honestly struggled their way through this season, had ups and downs, quarterback issues, injuries, the whole thing. The thing about the Steelers is they can run the ball. They play great, I shouldn't say great defense. I say they play good defense. Like, look at this, okay? They have the 21st defense, the 25th offense. The defense of the Bills is the one to really talk about. And it looks like Watt's not going to play for the Steelers. And then the Bills have the 4th offense in the entire league. This is insane. And the Bills have a better rushing attack than Pittsburgh. I do think part of that is because Josh Allen rushes the ball so much, scores a lot of touchdowns. I think he led the league in rushing touchdowns for quarterbacks this year. So I think this is a no-brainer. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Bills actually crush the Steelers. I do not think it's going to be close. I think it could be a 30-point win. That's how confident I am. So those are the AFC games. And then what's weird is that they go into, like, it's like all AFC, and then it's all NFC. Like, why did they do that? Doesn't make any sense to me. But we're going to go to my Packers at Cowboys. Now, I just need to tell you right now, the Cowboys have been great this year. Started the year with a 40 point destruction over the Giants. Had another monster week. I think they won like 30-0 against someone else. And that has been wild. It's been absolutely wild to see. Dak Prescott seems like he's on an MVP level. He's accurate. He's poised. What's weird about the Dallas Cowboys is this, that they are actually not going to, they're not running the ball very well. They're not running the ball at all well. I thought Tony Pollard was going to have a monster year. They didn't. Now, if you look at the stats, it's really CeeDee Lamb and everyone. There's no real second wide receiver. Now, Cook makes some plays and, other wide receivers. And I like their tight end Ferguson as well. So, but like CeeDee Lamb has been a man on a mission. This guy is unbelievable. He looks unstoppable. And so I am going to pick the Cowboys because their defense is lights out. 12 wins, 5 losses. This team is clicking on all cylinders. I'll just bring this in here right now. So the Packers are at 11th in offense, but the Cowboys are 5th. Then you look at the defense, the Cowboys have the 5th best defense, and then Green Bay has the 17th best defense. Now, 3rd best passing offense is the Cowboys, and then the 14th rushing. Now, granted, Aaron Jones has been out most of the season. This is the thing about the Green Bay Packers. They've literally played the entire season with the youngest team in the NFL. They're the youngest team in NFL history to make the playoffs. And I just think, like, at the end of the day, we've been missing our best left tackle, our best running back, our best cornerback, our best tight end, and I'm missing someone else, best linebacker, and we've been missing another something the best of. All season long, not all season long, most of the season, we've been missing key people, and we struggled, but then they just started to turn it around near the end. They have been playing playoff football for weeks. So I do believe this is a major successful season, having all these young players and getting to the playoffs, doing what Rodgers couldn't do last year. It's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm really excited personally as a Packers fan. And if we win, I'm very happy about the win. But if we lose, we still get all playoff experience to this young, bright core and team. And Jordan Love has been playing awesome. So I think the keys to the game, and this is the one I'm going to spend the most time on real quick here, is Micah Parsons is a beast. If we can slow him down, we've got a chance. Also, Dak has played really lights out for a lot of the year, but he's also played some crazy. So when Dak is dangerous, the dangerous Dak, then we're in trouble. But if we can play and make Dak be disappointing Dak, we've got a real shot. Our defense has to come up. I think Aaron Jones is going to have a good game. I think our wide receiver core needs to produce. They can't get shut down by the corners of Dallas and the safeties. So I'm hoping that the Packers upset, but being a realistic fan, I do think Dallas wins this game. Now, in saying that, this is the last thing I'm going to say. I also picked that the Detroit Lions were going to beat Green Bay on Thanksgiving. And then next week, I picked Kansas City to beat Green Bay in Lambeau. I was wrong about both of them. I was convinced there was no way we were going to beat both of those teams. And so I'm kind of also picking Dallas so that reverse thing happens. I don't know. I don't know if my Packers can beat this Dallas team, but in wild card weekend, there's always wild things. So I'm hoping and cheering that my Packers win this, even though they're 9-8. Now, I predicted the Packers to go 9-8 and be in the hunt for the wild card. I can't even believe that I nailed that, but I did. Okay, so that is my long-winded one of that matchup. Okay, so let's go to the Rams, 10-7 Rams, who really played well in the last bit of the season. Really, really well. Incredible football. Getting Cooper Kupp back helped. This is the Stafford comes back to Detroit game. In fact, they banned Stafford jerseys for coming into the stadium. By the way, side note, the Cowboys have asked that you only wear white because they're wearing their white uniforms, which I thought was very interesting. I love it that the Packers are going to be wearing this green in there. I think it's going to look really cool. But if we go back to here, they're saying no Stafford jerseys are allowed in the stadium. Isn't that wild? That is so cool and so wrong at the same time. This is probably, for me, the matchup of the week, better than the Houston and the Browns game. I love what the Lions have done. The only thing that I don't like about the Lions is sometimes they risk it too much and it just does not work. It does not work. So I'm nervous about this matchup for the Lions. I hope that their coach doesn't do that fake punt on their 30. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to trick them or whatever. Like all these little trick plays they've done that mostly haven't. I mean, some of them have worked, but you should have kicked the extra point when you had the ineligible situation to tie it up. Like, nope, we're going all in. That's how we're going to play. I'm like, all right, well, that's why you end up losing that game to Dallas. I mean, I think you would have won against Dallas in that game in overtime or wherever. I think you would have won, but you didn't. So I have a feeling they're going to learn from those mistakes. But the Rams are legit. I mean, Stafford with those weapons, Nakua, Puka, whatever. Why am I having a hard time with his name? Cooper Kupp, all those guys, they're so good. And I think they've been playing great football. But I'm going with the Lions here. I have the feeling that they're a little more ferocious. They're a little more difficult. Now, Stafford definitely wants to prove his point there, okay? But I just don't think that that's going to happen. I think that Stafford isn't going to be able to overcome the defense, and I don't think he's going to overcome they can run the ball. And I think Detroit with Gibbs and Montgomery, they run the ball effectively. Now, the problem is some of their key players got hurt last week, especially Laporta. That's a huge concern. I can see the Rams getting the upset here, but I'm going to stick with the Lions. And Lions, you better win because winning the NFC North was a big deal for you guys. So now let's go to the last game of the week. I think a lot of people, including me, have been really disappointed in the Eagles offense. I think there's something wrong with the Eagles. There is something wrong with this team who went to the Super Bowl last year. I do not understand why they are struggling so much. They have talent coming out of everywhere, and they have lost and lost and lost. So I'm not sure what's going on in Philadelphia. But can they beat the Buccaneers? Now, the Buccaneers come out of the worst division in football, all battling for this garbage playoff spot. And I just feel like the Eagles got the best matchup possible. The Eagles are still 8th in offense, but they're 26th in defense. Their defense has been horrendous. You look at the offense of the Buccaneers, it's 23 and 20. Like both of them are 23rd. That's crazy. They have terrible passing, terrible rushing yards. And the Eagles, I just can't imagine that in a playoff game, even though we've been struggling, they're actually going to lose this game. I'm picking the Eagles in quote unquote the upset, because a lot of people are done with the Eagles. Now, I do believe the Eagles will lose next week. So hear me out here, everyone. Hear me out. So these are my predictions. I would love to know, put in the comments what you think. I would love to hear what you have to say about this. This is just interesting stuff. I'm pumped about Wild Card Weekend, and hope you have a great day. Let's just cheer on our teams. Let's just enjoy some football. Let's not get too crazy. I know it's Wild Card Weekend, but let's have some fun watching the NFL. And I hope that you have a great, great day. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like and subscribe. And of course, always go Pack Go. We'll see how it goes.